It is Independence Day in Hamilton, Ohio, and you are watching TV Hamilton's coverage of the 55th Annual 4th of July Parade presented by the Michael J. Colligan Fund at the Hamilton Community Foundation. Hi, everybody. I'm Ty Bradshaw.
And I'm Steve Caldwell.
It is 2017, and this year's theme is celebrating Hamilton's history with its great churches. What an interesting theme we've got this year. Cash prizes will be awarded to floats that best carry out the theme of this year's parade. Steve, we have over 100 units in the parade, 5 high school marching bands, the Shriners Antique Caravan, always a fan favorite, miniature horses, a horse-drawn antique fire truck, dance groups, and those who just love a parade, and many, many more surprises. And we are so glad you're here with us on TV Hamilton for this year's 4th of July parade. It's always a familiar start here at the Independence Day Parade. It's the Hamilton Police Department leading the way down High Street in Hamilton, Ohio, and they will be followed by the Boy Scouts carrying the Colligan banner.
Always a pleasure to be here, Ty, on this beautiful 4th of July.
And we sure do have a beautiful one. It's a little bit hot out, but I'd rather have that than the torrential rain that we've had in some previous years, and we've had years hotter than this, that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
So this is a great turnout, and Hamilton, Ohio really is small town USA. We've got a few citizens getting the business there from the police. Stay out. There was a no walk sign, lady.
Always an issue. The crowd seems to converge here on the parade, and then they have to move them back to make that turn.
You definitely don't want to be a jaywalker right in front of the Hamilton Police Department. All right, there's our Boy Scouts, a lucky 2, carrying in the Colligan Parade banner. So they are headed through the square here. And then we've got an early start with the Calliope. So we were told in previous years that the steam Calliope usually came towards the end, and it created some sound issues with the marching bands. So we're going to get started right away with them. Let's take a listen in. That's the Kitsch Greenhouse's steam Calliope out of Miamisburg, Ohio. Always a parade staple, and definitely nice to see them at the beginning.
And what just the sound of Americana there going by us.
It really is, absolutely.
Wow.
Boy, that is some kind of siren.
Is that the Calliope, or is that one of these police cars?
It looks to be the Calliope. I just turned my head around, and I don't know if they have to let some steam out of there to keep the thing going. But Sheriff Jones may want to look into that as a potential siren on his future vehicle
I'll tell you what, that'll get the attention, won't it?
Yes, it will. And speaking of that sheriff, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, live and in person. That's Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones with the cruisers and the walkers and some bagpipes behind him. Sheriff Jones, always a fan favorite. He shakes hands, he kisses babies, and he keeps our county safe, and we are always so appreciative of Sheriff Jones being here to start the parade. Sheriff Jones in full detail. Hamilton, he loves it. Sheriff Jones never one to shy away from a camera, is he, Steve?
No, never.
And following the sheriff's detail, it's the home of the Big Blue, the Hamilton High School Big Blue Marching Band. They are led by Director Paul Dixon. Let's take a listen in.
Stand up, Tyler.
Blues sound pretty awesome this morning. That's the Hamilton High School Marching Band that you just saw strolling through the square here in Hamilton, Ohio. And they've got the color guard following them.
My alma mater always does us proud.
Yes, they do. I have the pleasure of listening to the pep band quite often when I announce Hamilton High School basketball games, and they do a tremendous job, bring a lot of energy to that beautiful arena. All right, Steve, so I didn't prepare you for this, but this is my, I believe, 8th parade that I've worked with you. This is number what for you?
26.
26. So I thought the viewers might enjoy hearing a little bit of insight into our feelings about America. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So throughout the parade today, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and we'll get your answers. And once again, I did not prepare Steve for this, so it may take him a minute. So let's start easy. I'll give you a softball. Favorite 4th of July food?
Oh, any.
Any.
I eat just about anything. Apple pie.
Apple pie. See, now that's an American answer. That's an American answer. I am a burger guy through and through. So if you've got grilled burgers, I'm there. Hamilton Fire Department, paramedic unit there.
The Hamilton Fire Department and the Honor Guard always looking sharp and
Yes.
dapper.
Polished and detailed. This is the City of Hamilton Tree Advisory Board that just came through a moment ago. And the Hamilton Parks Conservancy. And Steve, I went by their building, and boy, they've done an impressive job down there on that new space.
I'll tell you what, we have done such beautiful work with the murals.
Absolutely.
Steve and Jen Akes-Smith have worked really hard.
And there's Steve Lippert. Take a look at this from the City of Character. And what a great event they put on this year. I had the pleasure of hosting that and emceeing with Clyde Gray.
There's Joni Copas riding that convertible.
And Joni Copas riding in style. She looks like she belongs in that
She
car,
does.
doesn't she? All right, this is the Diversity and Inclusion Committee, Hamilton Strong.
17 strong committee there, are organizing our 17 neighborhoods. Hey, there's boys.
And we are definitely lucky to have a very diverse, accepting community here in Hamilton, Ohio, and really all the Butler County area. With all the turmoil throughout the country, we've been able to say that Hamilton is a place where neighborhood really means something.
Well, look at the car the Chamber's riding
This
in.
is impressive. Greater Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. I think they've got the entire chamber in that thing.
Well, it's big enough. But
That is a Bonneville, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get to see those very often.
Oh, here's our Citizen of the Year, Betty Taylor.
Betty Taylor, our parade grand marshal. Enjoy your Independence Day here in Hamilton. And our volunteer of the year, or should I say volunteers, Jane and Monty Jacobs.
Well, thank you very much for your service.
We are also lucky to live in a city inspired by service, whether that's military service or community service.
And speaking of, the Alive After 5 committee bringing life back to downtown after 5 p.m.
And Steve, we've talked about this many, many times, but I think it bears repeating. If you want to talk about a renaissance, if you want to talk about a revival in a downtown area, look no further than Hamilton. What a stellar job they've done all throughout High Street and Main Street to really improve the offerings and the opportunities for both young and older families living in this city.
Yes, wow, what a transformation that we have undergone in, say, the last 5 to 7 years, and we've not seen anything yet.
And it's not stopping either. There's so much coming in the next couple of years that it's just going to be an exciting revival to watch.
For sure, and plenty of new development. Main Street is going to be completely different.
Yes, it will.
By this time next year.
Come check it out if you haven't been. And this is always one of my favorite moments of the parade. It's when our veterans start to roll through the square. This is the Disabled American Veterans.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your and ladies, for your service to our country.
Without a doubt, all of the branches of the United States military with flags on the back of that trailer. And then we've got a little outfit here. Look at that. That thing's fully loaded down. It's a pretty impressive vehicle to see in person. All right, and this is Lieutenant Terrence C. Graves, Detachment 1330 of the Marine Corps League. And that's a big Dodge Ram 1500. It's a hot day to be in full military garb, but these guys are doing it. This is nothing compared to the challenge they face each and every day, and we owe it to them as a city to honor their service.
And you hear the applause from the crowd. That's all you need to know, that we appreciate what, the sacrifices that our military has made for us.
And if you watch this parade, we hope that you also come in person to check this out. There's no better feeling than being in a town like Hamilton and watching so many people applaud our military members. All right, here's our veterans in Corvettes, starting out with Min Turner, a World War II veteran from the United States Army Air Corps. He's followed by William Turner, also from World War II in the United States Army, the Bronze Star Infantry. We've got Bill Reisinger from the United States Navy in World War II. If we could get these guys in a Corvette every day, it still wouldn't be enough to repay them for their service to our country. Ray Conlon from the United States Army in World War II. And how lucky we are to still be able to show our appreciation to the men and women who fought in that war. Bill Day from the United States Army, a World War II veteran.
Well, it looks like you're getting your picture taken there.
I don't deserve a picture. Those are the guys who ought to be photographed,
oh, yes.
for sure. Russell Carr from World War II in the United States Army, served in 5 major campaigns.
Wow.
And it's a standing ovation from the crowd here in Hamilton. Albert A. Miller, a World War II veteran in a nice blue Corvette with the top down. And following him, Ellis Ittle from the United States Air Force and the Korean War. A veteran from the United States Army in the Cold War, Franz Kleber. Boy, this is a nice vehicle right here. David Blevins from the United States Army in the Vietnam War.
Could be wrong, but I think the Corvettes are starting to pick up speed.
Yes, they are. They're a little fast. Darlene Field from the Women's Army Corps in the Vietnam War. What a wonderful moment this has to be for these fine men and women.
Yes.
Following him, we've got Roy Whitmore from the United States Marine Corps and the Vietnam War. Linda Swink from the United States Air Force in the Vietnam era. And Steve, what an example this has to be for the young children here in the square to watch their parents applaud these men and women who have served. Robert Crisp from the United States Army in the Vietnam War. And Harold Andrew Jr. from the Vietnam War as well. We'll have a few more of our military members rolling through in cars that are not labeled, and I try my best every year to keep up with those names because I feel that each and every name deserves to be announced. I apologize if I may have missed any of those as they came through the frame a little quicker than in years past, but Corvette's got a testament to a fast-moving car. But once again, on behalf of myself, Steve, and the entire production at TV Hamilton, thank you for your service.
We cannot thank them enough.
Courtney Thompson from the United States Air Force, Iraqi freedom and enduring freedom. Got Jerry Inderiden from the Vietnam War in the United States Air Force.
There's been a lot of Corvettes, too, going by.
Yes, and they are still coming. And once again, a special thank you to the Corvette Club of Hamilton. I believe that they are the ones who typically round up and provide all of these different Corvettes. And what a great service that is, and what a great moment as a member of our military to be able to roll through what may have been your hometown to really receive the accolades that you deserve. I'm especially cognizant, Steve, of the folks who served in the Vietnam War and to think of the reception that they should have received but often didn't.
Not what we should have done as a country to support them, for sure.
Without a doubt. And the fact that they get to return home to a deserving celebration is something that I'm very proud of. All right, Steve, let's try another question while we've got a little break here in the action. Are you ready for me to pepper another one your way?
Oh, throw me another softball.
All right, how about this one? This one's not a softball. Favorite American president?
Wow.
This is a toughie.
Since my lifetime, or just?
No, any American president from George Washington all the way through to our current president.
Boy, that's a tough one. I would have to say probably if I were going to truly pick one, it would have to be George Washington.
George Washington. All right, that's a good pick. And before I answer that question, Steve, Here are some members of the military, and what a great shot. I hope you got to see that. If you didn't, go back a little bit on your TV, because a young boy, probably about the age of 5, just ran out into the street and high-fived the veteran. Look at this. Steve, get out there with him. Show him what you're made of.
All right.
How many push-ups you got, guys? Keep it going. Who can last the longest? All right, they stopped at the same time. We'll give them that. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service. So appreciative.
Well, I hope I got the shot of that.
That was Steve and I. We ran out in front of the camera.
All right.
And just toned up a little bit. All right, Steve, I thought long and hard about that question. I can't necessarily I can narrow it down to one, but in a short second and third, I would have to say Thomas Jefferson, the Louisiana Purchase, probably one of the most underappreciated moments in American history, more than doubled the size of our country. Dwight Eisenhower, you like Ike, I like Ike, everybody likes Ike for president. That's probably second. And in first place, Ronald Wilson Reagan. All right, this is American Legion, post 138. And Steve, as we mentioned at the outset of the program, this year's theme, and this is a rather interesting one, celebrating Hamilton's history with its great churches. So this year we spend the parade honoring the freedom of religion that helped establish this country and bring the early settlers to North America. And look at this. Steve, that was the Zion Evangelical Lutheran Church, and I'll be honest with you, that's going to be a tough one to beat.
Oh, that'll definitely be a contender when it comes to judging the floats.
That is pretty impressive. Now, this individual every year is always out here on a contraption that I dare not trust my own lack of athletic ability on. It's a tricycle, I think. I don't know what you would call it, but it's impressive nonetheless. Oh, Steve, we got some big horses coming through the square now. This is, if I am not mistaken, a fire truck, an antique fire truck pulled entirely by horses.
I wonder if that came out of our firefighters museum at the House Shepherd Fire Station.
All I've got to say is if your house catches on fire, I hope you're not relying on the horses to get there in time. I got an update from somebody here in the crowd. That was Myron Bowling Auctioneers with a hitch wagon pulled by, I believe, Duke and Dale. 12 years on Full Brothers of the, let's see. It's a certain type of breed of horses, but the handwriting is not too clear, and I don't know enough about horses to even venture a guess, Steve, so we'll leave it at that.
Well, it was pulled by 2 horses.
It was pulled by 2 horses, and they looked a little restless. They must smell fire. I think they want to put one out somewhere. That was a really unique vehicle. I've, like I said, been doing this parade for 8 years now. I've never seen anything like that. Really cool.
Hey, let's give a shout out to that photographer there roaming with the camera. You can see him in the frame, and that's E.L. Hubbard. It takes some beautiful photographs for the Journal News.
Can't wait to see those, and he's got a tremendous day to do it. Uh-oh.
Don't hit the camera.
A little water gun action. This is expensive equipment, and I'm hooked to a lot of electronics.
Unfortunately, we did not put our rain gear on today because there is not a chance of rain. Or
and we didn't have to. We started out with a forecast that didn't look all that pleasant. Steve, is that your motorcycle? That's the AmVet Riders. Look at that. That's a beauty.
I need to make friends with the AmVets post-1983 and find out whose beautiful Harley that is.
That is stunning. Polished just like yours, I'm sure.
That one probably beats mine.
Well, it's TV. You can embellish a little bit.
Well, nobody can see it. So
Tell them it's spotless,
it
my
is
friend.
spotless.
Tell them it's spotless. All right, we've got more AmVets vehicles. This is post-1983.
And look at that, just to the side of your frame there. There's a little boy talking to a Butler County Sheriff's deputy on that beautiful Road King.
And Dad's coming over to make sure he's not getting arrested. And Steve, in a time where relationships with police and other communities might be hurting, might be struggling, So great on this Independence Day to see a shot like that. A young boy looking up to a police officer with admiration.
Yes, you know, our police and fire, they do such a difficult job on a day in and day out basis.
Yes, they do, and we are always thankful for their service. All right, Steve, so we talked about our favorite American presidents. Mine was the great communicator, Ronald Reagan. I've read so many books on Reagan, and my admiration just continues to grow. Yours was George Washington. Let's try another question here. How about your favorite song about America?
There we go, Bad Boys. No, aside from, you know, Star Spangled Banner,
Yes.
I got to go with one that's probably overplayed now, but Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA.
That's a hard one to beat.
You know, there's also one Alabama released years ago, and it was 40 hours a week or something like that. I forget the name of it.
Yes, I remember that tune now.
You know, it just talks about the people that work in America that have made it great
Yep.
over the years. Speaking of the Hamilton's finest, Hamilton Police Department Honor Guard.
Yes, sir. Brooks and Dunn did a song, too, Only in America. They kind of had the same theme, where it was all about the everyday people that make America go.
Look at the new police vehicle with the
It's
wrap.
impressive. The wrap looks great.
Ernie
What
Huff
wonderful
driving that.
images.
Yeah,
Ernie,
that's pretty
you got
cool.
a nice ride there, buddy.
You know, on Facebook, I saw that the public information officer, Brian Robinson, was driving that. But I see that he is on vacation.
Oh,
so,
I was going to say it's either that or Ernie scooped him.
Well, I don't know. I wonder.
The Greater Hamilton Safety Council and Safety Town rolling through. Once again, another great example of youth combining with our police and law enforcement agencies.
That was Kim Wentz driving that car. Here comes some of our
There's
Hamilton
the chief.
Police. Chief
There's
Bukite.
the chief. Chief
Hey.
Bukite. Good to see you.
There's Officer Christy Collins.
Officer Collins, Chief Bukite, thank you for all you do to keep our city safe and to
Yeah.
keep great relations. Miniature ponies. These are therapy horses. I could use a little therapy.
Such sweet animals.
Yes, they are. I work at Miami University,
Uh-oh.
and they've been bringing them up. Oh, TC, watch out.
Hey, look
It's
at how close he
expensive
got.
equipment. Man, he got awfully close. All right, here's the big man, Danny Crank. Danny Crank loves TV Hamilton,
Thank you, Danny.
and so should you. That's the Butler County Recorder, Danny Crank.
Wow, that's a nice looking Jeep.
Yes, it is. Dan Gattemeyer.
My wife would take that Jeep in a second.
And then
There you
we've got Jessica Barnhill. It's her birthday. Happy birthday.
happy birthday.
Born on the 4th of July. All right, Steve, before we get to a great musical performance, I'll share my favorite song. It's a classic. It's got to be Ray Charles, America the Beautiful.
Oh.
When that song plays in Sandlot, my favorite movie of all time, I don't know that there's a more American scene than that.
Good one. Of course, you've had time to think about these.
I have. I actually listened to some on the way in to get myself pumped and psyched for this parade. I was listening to a little James Brown, Living in America. Had the windows down, rolling through the streets of Hamilton. A lot of people looking at me strange, but it's the 4th of July. We can do what I want.
Hey, we have the
Ladies and
freedoms.
gentlemen, look at this. It's the marching Fairfield Indians out of Fairfield High School, my alma mater. On your feet, everybody. Let's stand and let's listen. Don't let me down, Fairfield. I usually get the fight song.
Yeah. I hear the rollout.
Maybe. I think it's coming, Steve. It's not the fight song, but it's close enough. That's the Fairfield High School Marching Band under the director, Darren Ling. 200 high schoolers from Fairfield marching in that band. What an impressive outfit they have.
You know, I think I accidentally cut the camera off.
Oh, Steve, don't do it to me.
Oh, just kidding. I would not do
Such a
that.
low move.
I know.
Now, this is an impressive vehicle right here, Steve. If I'm not mistaken, this is Fairfield High School's marching band. This is their trailer.
Wow. I hope he can make this turn right here.
Yes, he got a little close, but this is the trailer that hauls all the equipment. Look at that.
That's just the regular old semi, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. All right,
Oh,
here
here
it
we
is.
go.
You know the horns. It's the Syrian Shriners Antique Caravan in the Mini Model Ts. They usually do a circle race for us here in the square. Show them off a little bit.
Oh, they're fun to watch, aren't they?
They're good performers, that's for sure. You can always smell the gas engines coming.
Yeah. I'd like to ride on the police department's Road Kings, and I'd love to drive one of those one day.
Tale of two cities, right?
Yes. Nobody's broken down this year.
Nobody. We don't have a broken down.
I'll tell you what, this is a long parade route.
Yes, it is. Someone may break down by the end.
So, well, they've almost made it.
So as we mentioned, the theme is of this year's parade celebrating the history of Hamilton's churches. Hamilton High School band parents have put together a very impressive float. Look at this, Steve.
Wow.
The stained glass windows, those are hand-drawn, hand-painted. That is tremendous. Great job, Hamilton High band
Very
parents.
nice. Very nice.
They've
Now,
even got the pulpit inside. That's wonderful.
I did not see Hamilton High band parent Terry Millard. Oh, look at this. Brian K. WMOH. That's a nice car.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Terry Millard loves to duck our cameras, so I'm going to say her name instead.
This is the WMOH 1450 crew, including the air personalities, news reporters, program directors, sales staff, and many other members of the WMOH community.
Joe London, Dean Langevin. I don't know who the fellow on the left is. Wow, they brought out all the old timers for
Man,
this. There's
they've
Pam
got-
Long.
Oh my gosh!
Bob Long's in there too. Wow, that siren's loud.
That is the 7 Mile Fire Department. You can hear them coming from 7 miles away, I'm
Uh-oh.
sure.
Yes.
And now there's your broken down, Steve, being hauled the 7 Mile Fire Department antique fire truck.
Well, that is an oldie.
Yes, it is. And then a newer vehicle there. They'll be followed by an ambulance from St. Clair Township and New Miami. Beautiful Life Squad there. This was always one of my favorites, was getting to see the fire truck and the ambulance. Oh my
Whoa.
gosh, that was loud inside of my headset. And that one probably just as loud.
Yeah, we have it piped directly in. Nothing to buffer it.
We'll make sure to adjust that when we play this
Yeah.
one back, right, Steve?
Yes, here we go.
St. Clair Township Fire Department provides emergency medical care to St. Clair Township and New Miami.
Here's another church coming up, the
Yes, it
Presbyterian.
is. This is the Presbyterian Church in the heart of the city with the heart of Christ.
I think that's John Lewis there in the Uncle Sam
Oh
outfit.
my gosh. Is he going to preach on Sunday from that? Is it Uncle Sam? Is it John Lewis?
I don't think it's John
No,
Lewis.
it's not John. I'm going to have to give John a hard time about not being willing to get in the outfit.
Another beautiful float, and they have many, many churches listed out on there.
They do. They're honoring many churches. That's great. There's John Lewis.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
John's too busy with the bubbles. John, next year we want to see you in the Uncle Sam outfit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from Trenton, Ohio, it's the Edgewood High School Marching Cougars. Let's take a listen in. Don't those Cougars sound great? That's the Edgewood Marching Cougars under the direction of John Arnold. 82 marching in today's parade. And they've got the van and trailer following.
There we go. A little car.
How about that?
That kind of reminds me of the ones that they used to have at, well, what used to be La Swordsville and then Americana.
Yes.
Drove them on a little track.
Wonder if that's where it came
I
from.
don't know. I always liked doing that.
Those were fun.
I miss Americana and La Swordsville.
I think Kings Island had Days of Thunder. They had the antique cars as well. All right, this is the First Baptist Church of Hamilton, Ohio. Got some First Baptist fans in the house. A lot of church members here today.
A lot of walkers. Props for that.
Yes. On a hot day like this, more power to them. I get to sit in a chair all day. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'm like one of those people that, meets new people when I run, like
Yes.
like paramedics.
Yeah,
because
exactly. Somebody who can help revive us.
Exactly.
Got some VBS coming up. And VBS, there are so many churches. I'm not even lying, Steve. I think if you were a kid in Hamilton, you could probably find a VBS to go to every single week in this community, and the churches do a great job putting those on. All right, Steve, let's ask you another question. This is a toughie. Are you ready?
Okay, lay it on me.
Other than Ohio, because that's a given, your favorite American state, or the state you would want to live in other than Ohio if you had the choice? You got the Webb from Westchester, Ohio, laser tag action as Steve contemplates.
Well, that's a tough. I honestly think I'm destined for a beach
Yes,
town.
I would agree.
I love Hamilton. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But an ocean, beachfront property would be nice. Probably
right.
anywhere. Jenny and I have always said that San Diego is a city we would like to live
That's
in.
a good choice.
Yeah.
Mine would be a beach as well. I think I'd probably end up in my family's vacation spot, Gulf Shores, Alabama.
I've not been there, but I hear it is beautiful.
It's wonderful, and I tell you what, every year that I go down there now, we've been going for years and years, and this is the Booker T. Washington Center. What a great contingent they brought out. But every year we go down to Gulf Shores, it never fails. Somebody from Hamilton, Ohio is always down there at the same time we are. Last year I got to see Kathy Becker and her family. Kathy's the former vice mayor of the city of Hamilton. Had dinner with them at one of my favorite spots, Lulu's, owned by Jimmy Buffett's sister, interestingly enough. All right, another marching band. This time it's the New Miami Marching Vikings. And they are under the director of Ashley Martin. Let's take a listen in. Miami Marching Vikings playing one of my other all-time favorite American hits, You're a Grand Old Flag.
They may be small in number compared to Hamilton and Fairfield, but they sound really good.
They sounded great. All right,
Lindenwold
Steve,
United Methodist.
Yes, look at that. Some great American flags on their float. All the community functions that they perform listed there on the side. And I believe we've got the Girl Scouts of Hamilton Trails, Troop 455 from Ridgeway Elementary. Did you bring any cookies, ladies?
Oh, there
I'm
you
hungry.
go.
No Thin Mints.
I don't know what they put in those cookies, but they're mighty addictive.
And I just found at Kroger the other day they have Girl Scout cookie flavored cupcakes. How dangerous is that? They had a Thin Mint cupcake.
They must sell Y memberships to go along with
Yes,
that. Oh,
they
now that's a
should.
cool float.
I believe that's the Cub Scout Pack 926 with a USA rocket on it. That's the Cub Scout pack from Grace United Methodist Church. Got a little bit of lull in the action here, Steve, as folks meander through the town. All right, this is the Inspiring Arts, the musical dance team. They are performing August 3rd through the 6th at Parrish Auditorium on the campus of Miami University Hamilton. They'll be performing a musical entitled Crazy for You.
And it looks like they may be performing down on High Street.
I believe that they're coming through right now, a little bit behind, but they're probably taking a little extra time to dance.
Yeah, I'm zoomed in pretty good. They're a good half a block down there by the American Cape.
By the
statue.
Cape.
Who is that? A Hamilton Joes jersey?
That is this year. That's a new thing. So the Hamilton Joes, the baseball team that I announced for, actually got permission to go up to Old Alexander Hamilton, and in addition to that beautiful cape that wraps up into the air, he's wearing a Hamilton Joes jersey. He had a hat on at one point, but I think the wind may have gotten the best of that. But if you haven't been down to Foundation Field, the Hamilton Joes, a summer collegiate baseball team playing through June and July. And Steve, if you haven't seen the updates to Foundation Field, a brand new turf infield, which is absolutely gorgeous. And I know Daryl Grissom is probably so thankful that he doesn't have to drag that infield or water it over and over again. And then also, for thank goodness, a brand new scoreboard.
Nice.
I know that the kind folks at Coca-Cola helped out with the purchase on that. But what a great thing that is to have, because that old scoreboard, tell you what, as much as I love tradition and antiques, a scoreboard for an announcer is not where you want to see it.
No.
And every game I used to have my little sidekick there in the booth would have to actually write down the balls, or not the balls and the strikes, but the runs, the hits, the errors, everything, so I could actually read it over the PA at the end of the game, because that scoreboard was no help whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
They're going to try to keep them moving a little bit.
Are they getting ready to do a performance here?
I think they might be, and if they do, we'll be here to bring it to you. Before I forget, Steve, while we've got a little break, I want to take a moment to thank the Hamilton Police Department for all the work they provide to keep people safe and make sure that there's no traffic along the parade route. They do a really tremendous job throughout the day. We'd also like to thank the Hamilton Utilities Department, specifically the electric division, who keep us going. We've got power because of them.
Yes. Our screen would be a little bit dark without them.
Yes, it would. We've got also a special thank you going out to the 4th of July committee. And Diane and Dave Evans, thank you for all you do to make this parade such a great tradition in our city.
And wow, you just can't say enough about the hard work that they put into I mean, you just don't line up the morning of July 4th and say, let's have a parade.
No.
They work year-round.
There's so much logistical planning that goes into this. And this is the Inspiring Arts group that's going to be performing their musical Crazy for You, finally getting down our way. And they came through here quick.
They did, wow.
For all that preparation, make sure you go check them out August 3rd through the 6th at Parrish Auditorium. All right, Steve, who do we have next? This is Price & Associates Insurance Group, I believe, and a few other businesses. Tom Lunsford & Associates saluting our veterans. This is Building Women of Integrity in the American Heritage Girls, Troop Ohio 0226.
I don't want to pan quickly, but look at this float coming.
Steve, this one might be our front runner. Wow. Talk about honoring the theme of celebrating Hamilton's history in our churches. This is done by the American Heritage Girls.
Tell you what, that's a good one.
This is, wow, look at those stained glass windows. Aren't those beautiful? They've done the pews. They've done the bell tower. Tremendous job, ladies.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's going to be hard to beat. We'll see who wins that prize. Once again, a prize offered by the Michael J. Colligan Fund. Over 100 units in this parade. Got the Hamilton Saints cheerleaders for football. Little Blue football. The Hamilton Saints boys and girls Pee Wee football plays at Joyce Park. It says they've got about 20 players, but I'd say they've probably got about double that.
Yeah, that's a pretty large group that just went by.
Boys, you better get some conditioning in. You're looking a little bit tired just walking through the streets.
Hey, it's hot out. They've not
It
started
is hot.
practice yet, I'm sure.
That's true. That's true. It's still early. Wouldn't want to be practicing in full football gear right at the start of July.
Well, we have had, as you well know, 4th of July's where I don't know if it's really able to be done, but if you could fry an egg on the pavement,
Yep.
it would fry.
The pavement's a little bit hot today, but as Steve and I have talked about numerous times, given the option of heat or rain, give us
Yeah, I'll
the
take the
heat
heat.
and the sunlight any day. Steve, I think we've got another float that's going to be a great contestant for that Michael J. Colligan prize offered at
Very
the end. I want to say this is the Boy Scout troop from Shannon, Ohio. That's Troop 935. What a great job they've done
Nice.
in costume there, too. Some nice I tell you what, the different representations of the stained glass windows that we've seen are really nice.
Attention to detail is pretty cool.
Yeah, they've done a great job on these. All About Kids, which is a daycare facility, actually operates on Route 4 near Bypass 4. Child care and learning offered from 6 weeks old all the way up to 12 years old. Steve, what if we only have the mental capacity of a 12-year-old? Does that allow
Wow.
us to get in there? Maybe you and I can enroll.
I would doubt it.
Here's another Boy Scout troop. This looks like Troop 956. Scout is reverent, the motto of this one. They've done a great job as well with the church theme. Look at these churches they've got painted on the side. They've got the historical times. Hamilton, a city with beautiful historic churches, Steve.
Yes, the architecture in Hamilton. I don't know that we appreciate it. Here's Pac 924 coming in on their float. You live here and you see it every day.
You do.
Then you don't necessarily appreciate what we have. You have people that come in from out of town who haven't seen it, and it's a completely different story.
That's correct. And I tell you what Hamilton's done a great job of doing over the past, I would say at least 10 years, is balancing the modern art features that you can add in, like all of the murals that you see, and balancing that with the historic restoration of the architecture.
And I don't think that was accidental.
No, it wasn't. It's very well thought out. City Council, the city manager, everybody's just done a great job. They are loud and proud. Listen to these ones. These are our Hamilton Little Blue cheerleaders. Nice job, ladies. And I tell you, Steve, I have to mention, and I know I'm partial, but of all the murals that have been put up, folks, if you have not driven across the bridge and seen the Left-Hander for Life mural that's been put up of Joe Nuxall, to see him outstretched arm with a baseball as a 15-year-old, and then right next to it to see Joe as he retired and rounded third and headed for home, what a absolutely breathtaking and stunning mural that is.
Yep, I hate to say that I have a favorite one because I really like all of them. They all have incredible talent
Yes.
and beauty in the murals. But the left hand, I mean, what's more Hamilton than Joe Nuxall?
Nothing. And it's so great to see it also on the side of Clark's Sporting Goods, a store where I'm sure as a youngster, Joe Nuxall probably bought many a baseball glove and baseball. It's just so well thought out and a lovely tribute. I know that the Nuxall family was on hand for the unveiling of that miracle and how special that has to be for them. Got the Hamilton District Veteran Scouters.
Did you catch the lady's wig or hair in the van? I kept trying to figure out what it was, and she had decorations on her head.
Quite vibrant.
Yes.
We'll say that. The Veteran Scouters, Steve, have almost had 150 years of scouting represented. How impressive is that?
Well, I wonder how many Bob Wiley there has. Probably quite a few.
I would imagine he does. All right, so this appears to be the last Ohio Militia, a survival preparedness organization that focuses on the needs of families in times of strife. Great to see some dads out here with their youngsters, supporting them arm in arm. More members of the Last Ohio Militia. Make sure you visit them, lastohiomilitia.com, for more information.
Big contingency with them.
And from Madison High School, the Marching Mohawks. Let's take a listen in.
Let me just get some drum cadence here.
Well, they've had a long walk in a hot, sunny day, so this is the Madison Marching Mohawks under the director of Aaron R. West. Those drums sound good, Steve.
Yes, they do. And again, hats off to the parade organizers because, wow, the bands have been spaced out perfectly.
They've been great.
With just a few minor exceptions, the parade has flown by, well, sometimes a little too fast, but just right with the amount of bands and music mixed in.
Without a doubt.
Hats off.
School board candidate Louise Jewett, followed by a city council candidate, Delbert Price. The Butler County Democratic Party, they've put together a pretty great float here as well. Got some historical banners, but look at the fort on that one, Steve.
There we go, Fort Hamilton.
Very nice, and Lady Liberty right in the background.
Driving the minivan there is I don't want to call him old, former broadcasting arts teacher, Dave Spurrier.
Talk about coming full circle, right?
Right. I won't say how many years ago I had him, but I hadn't started the parades
Okay. All right. That gives
when
us,
I began in his class. How about
that gives us some context.
Yes, this is my 26th
26.
4th of July parade.
Shaquilla Matthews for Hamilton City Council marching in the parade as well. Happy 4th to you, young man. And what a great smile that was. Always a lot of kids in this parade, Steve.
Yes, kids, scouts, and, our veterans.
How awesome would it be to be a youngster and be able to march in this parade and just feel like an absolute celebrity?
I would think it would be fun. I've never marched in it. I've been recording all of them.
I haven't either. Maybe we can work that in one year.
I think we should do coverage of the parade from the parade.
We could put a camera on your shoulders and just run through the streets.
I was thinking more along the lines of just driving the truck in the parade.
Or that. Yeah, that works too.
Just shoot from the back of the parade and get all the crowd.
And we could even stop, like we could sample all the foods that are offered up here around this courthouse square.
Boy, I like the way you are thinking.
I know, and I've already done it, folks. I have to admit, I went over to Flub's. I saw the Smurf sherbet that they have, and I couldn't resist.
There's Trinity Episcopal Church going by. But, yes, we do have a taste of Hamilton going on around the courthouse today. So you definitely, of course, you won't be seeing this on the 4th of July because it'll be on later. But a lot of activities going on today.
In future years, make sure you get down here. We're so glad that you watch on TV Hamilton afterwards, but we hope you get to see it live and in person.
Chris Mate for school board. We have many, many people running this year for Hamilton City Council and school board. It's good to see people willing to get involved.
Great to see a city that understands service and understands dedication.
Well, let me tell you what. You don't do it for the pay.
No, you don't.
Neither one of those positions, because the school board's not paid at all, and city council is barely paid.
Yes.
For the amount of time that a good board member or council member puts in, you're not paid.
That's an important distinction. We've got the Butler County Right to Life group defending our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And the great thing about this country, if you don't like it, do something about it.
That's correct.
Run for office. Get involved.
Run for office, get involved in a cause, make a difference on a small level in your community. Don't worry about the big stuff. Let's just take care of people each and every day.
Right, because it starts there. But unless you've taken time to get involved, you don't know. You can sit back and complain, but you don't know what's going on.
That's right.
So walk in their shoes for a little while.
Without a doubt. We live in an age, Steve, where it's just so easy to jump on Twitter or Facebook.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah, and just jump in and comment about things that you don't understand or you don't know about. Let's Let's take a moment on this 4th of July to remind ourselves that we are all Americans and that it's important to understand one another, whether we agree or not, and be willing to have those civil conversations. We talked a lot about this at the City of Hamilton, the character event that we had, and if you haven't seen that, pull it up on TV Hamilton on their YouTube page. And I know that Clyde Gray, former broadcaster from WCPO, offered one of the most inspiring keynotes I've ever heard. And if you get a moment to sit down and for 20 minutes just listen to that keynote, it'll change your perspective on community service.
Yes, that was Kim and Matt Munifo going by there waving that humongous flag that he had. I bet his arms are going to be really tired by the end.
I would imagine.
Although Matt's a pretty buff guy. But he's not steering.
Yeah, it's, oh gosh, two hands out the window means no hands on the wheel. So,
10 and 2,
yes,
10 and 2.
Or at least 10. I guess 10 or 2 would be fine at this point. Hey, this is the Vineyard Church. The New Life Vineyard Church. And I think that's their church band. Let's listen into this, Steve. Wow, didn't they sound good?
Well, I hope they pick it back up. Yeah, there we go.
Looking for good music. I think that's a good spot to find it. We've got the Lane Library Bookmobile, one of my childhood favorites. I was always an avid reader, and there was something about going to a library on wheels that would camp out right in front of my childhood home on Campbell Drive in Hamilton.
No kidding.
I grew up, yes sir, at 1725 Campbell Drive, Hamilton, Ohio. Ain't no jive. That's how my dad taught me to remember the address when I was about 4 years old.
Yeah, the bookmobile, how fun that was. I used to make stops at my elementary school on Fridays or something like that. I was not an avid reader, I hate to say.
We got the Hamilton Assembly of God with a great float here with an old school white church, and then they've got a bunch of smaller churches around there. Serve Pro.
Fortunately, we've had to use their services in our studio when we've had some water problems, but they do a really good job.
Of all the places you don't want to have water damage,
oh goodness, no.
I think a television studio is probably one of them.
I've never seen them dressed like this.
If they showed up in that gear to clean, I might pay them double. Might. Don't get any ideas, guys. Might. The Green Stormtroopers of Serve Pro. Now, talk about USA. There's a little bump there that made me kind of nervous, but look at the suit on this fella.
Wow.
Stars and stripes.
Okay, I picked the outfit out for Karen Whitmer. That's your outfit to call the parade. We're going to put you on camera next year.
You know what? If Karen wears it, I'll wear one too, okay? Karen, the bet has been issued.
I believe we are coming up on the end.
We are. So we've got a few more parade enders. We've got it bookended by the Hamilton Police Department. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been TV Hamilton's coverage of the Independence Day Parade in Hamilton, Ohio, the 55th annual installation of this city's 4th of July parade. We thank you for tuning in and always supporting this city and TV Hamilton, hometown television, with a personal touch. I'm Ty Bradshaw.
And I'm Steve Caldwell.
Happy Independence Day, everybody.